Yes, my favorite child, Severa. Now, at first, I didn't really care for Severa because she's pretty much a brat. What she comes off as, she's very distant. She tends to lie a lot to make herself look better. At the same time, though, she does she'll show a bit of compassion. But it just takes a bit of edging to get it out of her.
Yeah, it's like at first glance, yeah, I mean, it's like at first glance you would see like Severa. She'd be like, the typical tsundere trope that you often see in anime nowadays. But fortunately, yeah, she does get a lot more development. So it's like, okay, she's not that typical trope. She actually is a fleshed out character.
Yeah, she does show some compassion. In fact, you know what? The most compassion, I think, in that future past DLC pack, and I'm going to totally spoil it for you, Danny. Okay. Severa, I believe, gains the most character development from that DLC.
Really?
Yes, because in the future, like in the main game, we find out, she's really upset with Cordelia, her mother, because the big thing is, like, we mentioned before how Cordelia is like this perfection, like how she's good at everything and people really look up to her. Because of that, people are always comparing Severa to her mother, and Severa hates that because people are trying to make Severa live up to her mother's standards, which is really hard.
Right. And, like, wasn't that also, like, a thing where, like, people were expecting her to just automatically become a Pegasus Knight?
Yeah, and because of that, Severa ended up being a mercenary.
Yeah.
But in the future past DLC pack, in the final mission, when Severa, two of the other kids and Lucina are confronted by Grima, Severa is the first one to stand up to Grima to protect Lucina, and in her speech she talks about how my mother was a Pegasus Knight, and even though people keep comparing me to her, I forget exactly what she said. I'm gonna butcher it to all hell, but she's pretty much going on about how they defended this land and we're gonna do the same thing, and pretty much in the end when it's all over. In honor of her mother, Severa herself becomes a Pegasus Knight.
Interesting.
Like she doesn't admit it, but it's obvious. So.
Well, that's pretty noble.
Yeah, in fact, if anything, one of the funniest things that I've seen out of Severa, it's in the Hot Spring DLC, and it's hysterical. Because like we mentioned before, how like Lucina and Owain are like the most popular of the kids. Inigo is another one, which I'm surprised, Danny, that you forgot about that.
Yeah, close enough.
And Severa is the other, besides Lucina, is the other popular of the child females. And the conversation that Severa has with the merchant, or the Anna that's there, is hysterical because Anna brings up, once again how Cordelia is so perfect, and Severa gets really upset about it. But when the merchant like fit Anna for the robe that she gave her there, like the hot spring robe, the bust was a little too small for her, and Severa was like, "What's the meaning of this?" And the Anna was like, "Well, I just figured, your mother's bust is incredibly small. I figured yours would be the same." And Anna Severa gets a little upset about that, but after a bit it clicks, and then she finally asks, "Wait a second, are you saying that my girls are bigger than my mother's?" And the moment Anna says yes, Severa goes, "Yes, I finally beat my mom at something."
Wow. What the fuck?
I will kid you not. When I read that, my roommates were so concerned because I was actually on the floor tearing up. I was so...
What the fuck?
And that's pretty much what made Severa my favorite of the children. He's hysterical.
Only you would see excitement like that at the hot spring.
Oh boy.
I think now would be a really inappropriate time to ask, how much is this DLC?
It's like $5.
Oh.
So, well, not $5, like $4. It's something. It's I don't know.
Totally worth it.
Yeah, it's worth it. But that's coming from someone who literally bought every single DLC.
Oh, right, yeah. Right.
Yeah, it's like I've only bought the future DLC and, the all the fancy schmancy spring things.
I have nothing yet.
You need to fix that.
I wish I could.
All right, so unless you guys have anything else to say about Severa, we might as well move on.
I gotta admit, I think one of my favorite pairings that really cracked me up with Severa was when you pair her up with Brady.
Oh, because they start the grump club or something like that.
It's like they pretty much become they're like, okay, everybody's afraid of Brady. I don't get along with anyone, so Brady, you and we're gonna form this secret society, and we're just gonna be grumpy.
Game Grumps before Game Grumps were cool.
Yeah, I mean that one kind of cracked me up.
Yeah, well, something I suppose I should also mention about Severa that I forgot. She is pretty devious. It doesn't matter who her father is, obviously. Like in the first support, she goes on about how, Daddy, you didn't give me a lot of father-daughter time. I say we should go out and you should take me shopping. And then, it's the father, agrees, you're at that age, I suppose we can go. And then Severa's like, that's too easy. So then it's after that, essentially, obviously Severa made her father, spend all, everything they had on clothes for her. So then after that, the father's just like, okay, girl, you better start earning your shopping now. And Severa's like, oh my God! It's just... fine.
You're mean.
Exactly. All right. I guess that's our cue to go ahead and move on.
Yes.
Yes. Next up is Cherche's child.
I love you. Hey, pay attention for once and say something sweet, why don't ya?
The next child being Jerome.
Jerome.
Yeah, Jerome, hands down, the most pessimistic character in this entire game.
Jerome happy.
He's certainly strong.
Yeah.
I use him a lot, but he's definitely probably the most... There's a couple of funny moments with him, not a whole lot.
How so exactly?
Jerome's case, his mother is Cherche. Cherche was the one who was the Wyvern rider, and essentially what happens is in the future, similar to Cynthia, Cherche went off to battle, but was killed, and then her Wyvern Minerva, flew back to Gerome, and now the Wyvern that Jerome brought back with him to the past is the same Wyvern.
Yeah, and actually, when he went, it is kind of important to note, all the other kids, they go back to the past because they legitimately want to help Lucina because they feel, yes, we can change the future. Jerome, on the other hand, feels like there's nothing that he can do to change anything, but he goes back into the past because his main concern, he wanted to release Minerva in Wyvern Valley so she can be with her kind.
Yes, because apparently Minerva was the very last Wyvern in the future. She was the last of the species.
Yeah, so that was his whole motivation for going back into the past was because of the dragon.
Yes, also important to note, Jerome wears a mask, and he's actually the one that gives Lucina her mask before when she goes back in time as well.
Mm-hmm.
Jerome pretty much chooses to be distant from everybody. He doesn't want to get attached to anybody, mainly because because his reasoning is, okay, I already lost my parents once. I don't want to get reattached to them again because they're probably going to die again, and I don't want to go through all that trauma again.
Yeah.
That being said, despite how distant Jerome is, he does still care very deeply for everybody. He doesn't like showing it. He doesn't want to show it in an attempt to make himself not feel hurt or to hurt everyone else if something were to happen to him. But he does care about them very much, and we find this out from a later character, which I'll get into. But essentially, he has this character, pretty much constantly keeping an eye on everybody. And, like, every day Jerome will have him, like, give him a report on how everyone's doing. Essentially stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
What Jerome will also do here and there is, if he sees somebody making a mistake or, like, something he sees that could someone doing that could be harmful to themselves during the battle, he will point it out. So he is helpful, but to an extent, like he'll be helpful, but at the same time, like right afterwards, the moment he realizes that they're getting attached to him, he'll hop on Minerva and try to fly away.
Mm.
That being said, that little gag where he does that a lot, actually, where if someone tries to get attached to him, he'll hop on his dragon and try to fly away in order to avoid the conversation. That's probably his biggest joke, because there's a lot of things that'll happen involving that. Like one of the conversations he can have with his potential father. Like the father's trying to get close to him. He doesn't want anything to do with him. And like Minerva, Jerome, is the father brings up Minerva, and Jerome, this kind of slips out, but like Jerome says, I don't want Mervinikins getting hurt. Like it's like a little cute pet name for him, and the father catches it, and says, wait, no, I didn't say, your stupidity is rubbing off on me, and then he flies.
Yeah, and like another really funny conversation. At least I thought it was funny. Is if you ever have him and Inigo talking, Inigo even picks up. He's like, dude, you're always by yourself and everything. I don't like this. You gotta like, socialize. And, Jerome's like, I don't want to bother. And he's like, I know what we can do. You're going to come with me. And the two of us, we're going to go hunt for girls. So then it comes to and that was like, I think like the B rank conversation. So when you go to the A rank conversation, Inigo is like, you were supposed to be my wingman. So why did you get all the girls?
Wow.
And Jerome's just like, and Jerome still does not give a shit. He's just like, I don't get it either.
No, I think his reason was the girls liked my mask. there is actually another character later on that we'll get into that apparent like her whole support conversation with Jerome is trying to get his mask off. And he's just like, be gone, get away from me. No. But actually, it is suffice to say, Jerome will take off his mask, but only for the person he marries. So,
I think that, and I don't know. I guess that must be like either really selective or it's probably just for Robin or something. Because I mean,
I know it was for Robin, and it was I seen it happen for one other character, but we'll get into that.
Yeah, because I mean, I married Jerome off to a couple of people, and I have yet to see him take his mask off. So
well,
I'm thinking that's something exclusive for Robin.
Well, at the end of the Future Past DLC, he takes it off. In fact, there's even a joke like when it's like a year after they defeat Grima, and like they're all meeting up in the fields just to catch up, and like Jerome shows up, and like essentially like half of them like start new start the next generation of shepherds, and when Jerome shows up, he shows up without his mask. And no one recognizes him. And Owen like shows up. Hey, if you want to join the Shepherds, you're gonna have to sign some paperwork here. And Jerome's like, "It's Jerome, you idiots!" It's like, "Oh, where's your mask?"
That's awesome.
All right. So yeah, Jerome's another example of it's just another example similar to Frederick. He's never intentionally funny. But when he is funny, he can be very funny. But for the most part, he is pretty pessimistic.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of depressing things, I suppose we should go ahead and move on to Tharja's child, Russell.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Oh, yes.
From today on, we'll hone our edges, together. We'll carve a path to happiness through whatever fate may bring.
Yes, the very disturbed child Noire.
No.
Poor Noire. She had to be the child for Tharja.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Noire is definitely the shyest of the kids, but there's good reason, because due to the fact that she's Tharja's daughter, she tends to be the default guinea pig.
Wait, guinea pig?
Yeah, so whenever Tharja
pig
created a new hex or a curse, she often tested it out on her daughter.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh, also, what, does Tharja have, like, some kind of torture chamber or something like that?
For all we know, she does.
Yeah. I was about to say no, but then I kind of thought again, but whatever.
All we know she does, and there's pictures of Robin plastered all over the walls.
Oh, my God.
All right, but yeah, Noire. She's actually an archer. She can be a maid just like her mother. Like she's been learning to be a maid, but she's actually an archer. So
Right.
that
And a really good one at that.
yeah, she did. But yeah, but essentially Noire is very timid. She jumps very easily. Here's the thing with her though. Tharja made like a little talisman for her in the future because she was tired of Noire being all timid and stuff. So this talisman actually brings out the psychotic side of Noire to the point where this little timid Noire who jumps so easily is all of a sudden just all like blood and thunder.
Yeah, she starts like in all caps and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Wow!
Essentially, yeah. She becomes psychotic. She'll yell at everybody, like to the point where it's like, oh Jesus Christ, don't hurt me.
Okay, calm down.
In fact, one of the funniest moments with Noire with her talisman psychosis is on the summer DLC pack.
Oh, God.
Whenever a character enters into a battle for the first time, they'll have like a little note about the beach. Noire, her first thing is like, you there, brigade, you shall come with me and build sand castles.
Build the sandcastles, I demand it!
Wait!
Oh, God damn it.
Noire herself, she tends to be I don't recall a whole lot of situations where she's the one helping. Normally she's the one being helped or being helped when she doesn't want to be helped.
Yeah.
Alright.
She's definitely the most needy of all the characters.
Yeah, but she does have, probably because of this, like of her character traits and stuff, I gotta say, she gets some of the funniest pair-ups.
She does.
Mm-hmm.
She really does.
Yeah, like if you try pairing her up with Inigo, she frequently stalks him, and then she uses her bow to scare the women away from him.
That's right, because like we mentioned before, how Inigo would like try to sleep with some women, but they would like trap him or sedate him or something.
Right.
And then steal all his shit. This happened at one point. So Kron pretty much told Noire to watch over Inigo, so he would stop doing that shit. So like pretty much and her excuse for this when Inigo was like, Noire, why do you keep following me around? Her excuse was, I am my mother's daughter. And he's just like, what does Tharja got to do? Oh shit!
Best excuse ever.
Yeah, and like there's another pairing for another one of the kids that we'll get more into later on, but it's probably the lousliest reasoning for why they're a couple.
Oh yeah. We'll talk about that when we get to them. So
yeah, it just comes out of nowhere, but it's great.
All right. So any more about Noire?
I wanted to get into her sniper class a little bit, but that can probably save that for another time.
Well, I mean like personality wise and character wise.
Then no.
Okay. All right. So then I guess next up we will move on to Pan's son. Good fucking God.
Oh God.
You fill me with the strength I never thought to have. Please stay with me always.
Oh yes, all the lulls with Pan's son, Yarne. Yes, the first time I played Fire Emblem, I paired Pan up with Vake, Now we got two very headstrong, two very competent, and two very brave characters. Then they introduced to me their son Yarne, and holy shit!
Yeah. Now, see, earlier we did mention how Noire is the timid character, and while she's timid, she's not necessarily cowardly. That honor goes to Yarne.
Yes. Here's the thing.
Pussy.
Yes, Yarne is the most cowardly character of the bunch, and he lets it known. He will actively run away from battles. He tries to avoid drills. He just doesn't want to be a part of any of this.
Mm-hmm.
There is a reason for this, though.
Yeah.
We mentioned before that Pan is the last of her species of the Togwell.
Mm-hmm.
So when Yarne was born, Pan wasn't hiding for a while, and she's very confident. So she didn't really think about this. Yarne thinks about it all the time. He is so scared by the fact that he is the last of his species that he is constantly thinking about the pressure about that if he dies, the Tog will go extinct.
Yeah.
Right. I understand that.
Which is why he's so cowardly. He doesn't want his species going extinct.
Right. And and it's that's what constantly bothers him. He's constantly hiding. He's constantly depending on other people to protect him. And, Pan, meanwhile, is trying to, straighten him up. She's like, no son of mine is going to be a coward.
Yes, but that being said, while he is very cowardly, he does have his really brave moments. And those, I feel, do help to his character a lot. Because there are a lot of moments where, it's the same deal with Luigi. He's cowardly, but he still gets it done. He does run away. Typically, he'll have a good reason to run away. But he does still get the job done.
Right.
It's people gotta remember. It's like to be cowardly is not to be brave is not the absence of fear, but the ability to overcome it. So.
Right. Yeah, and you do get to see this happen, depending on whom you pair him up with.
Yeah, it's
there is one pairing that we'll get to her very shortly. But yeah, I'd have to say, I really loved that pairing because he actually saves her from being kidnapped.
Yeah. I do find it really funny, though, when, at the end of the Future Past DLC, what happens to Yarne. Because after Grima's defeated and, peace returns to the world, a bunch of people find out about Yarne being the last of his species. And similar to animal rights groups, pretty much put him on the endangered species list, and now are always constantly bothering him. To the point where it's they won't let me eat whatever I want. They always choose where I sleep. I can't get away from them.
It's like you're in a zoo.
So pretty much, it's gotten to the point where he stopped worrying about being the last of his species and worries more about those fucking animal rights activists.
Wow. And lo and behold, PETA strikes in Fire Emblem.
No.
That being said, he does have some of the funniest battle cries. Because characters have battle cries when they fight. Some of his are the funniest because it's
don't mess with a bunny.
Don't mess with a bunny.
What?
Or no, you go extinct.
Yeah, he screams that in the middle of combat. He'll just scream out, "Don't mess with a bunny."
Yeah. or if he's paired with someone, he'll be like, "Don't let me die," or "Don't eat me."
Yeah.
So if that's the case, you might as well just yell out, "It's rabbit season!"
Oh, it's funny. Even if you do if you go into the barracks, and if you manage to get Yarne into the barracks, I think I saw one time he was flipping out because there was a bee in there, and he's like, "Oh my god, there's a bee! I'm gonna die from the bee sting."
The bee sting? What?
I mean, every little thing freaks him out because, he pretty much sees the world around him as a death sentence.
Oh god, a worm! Ah!
not even just that, he is a very paranoid character. Like, in fact, doesn't matter what father he has, he suspects his father of cheating.
What?
Well, actually, not so much that they're cheating. It's like he's scared about him cheating overall, because he goes on it starts with him just staring at his father profusely, and his father's just like, hey, yo, Yarne, what's the matter? And Yarne's like, I'm trying to sense if you're cheating on my mother or not. It's like, what? Why would you think I'm cheating? Well, think of it this way. I just thought all I have to do is save the world. All I have to do is save the world, make sure both of you live, and then bam, I'm born, right? Well, what happens if you cheat on my mother before I'm born? I'll cease to exist. So pretty much he's scared that his father will end up leaving hand before he's born, causing him to not exist.
Oh, goody.
He thinks about every detail. He's just that paranoid.
Oh my god, that's hilarious. Ugh.
Alright. So, enough picking on Yarne. Shall we move on to the next character?
Sure.
Sure.
Yes, probably my second favorite of the children, Muriel's son.
I love you! Let's repopulate my species! Sorry, was that awkward?
Yes, Muriel's son, Laurent.
Very.
Laurent is, like I said, he's my personal second favorite of the children, right below Severa. He's just as intelligent as Muriel, but unlike Muriel, he's very human. He cares so deeply for everybody. He walks around. He's pretty much like every character normally has their share of between helping others or being helped themselves. Laurent is pretty much solely the guy that helps. He cares so much about everybody else, and he uses his intelligence to do so.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
He is just such a cool guy. He really is. Like he was when earlier when we were talking about Jerome, he was the one that I was talking about who Jerome goes to, who Jerome personally goes to keep check for everybody, to watch over everybody, and they keep checking in with Jerome about them. So.
Well, it kind of makes sense considering what happened to him, because when all the kids get sent back into the past, for whatever reason, Laurent actually got sent back several years before everybody else. So even though he was born after Lucina, because he spent more time in the present or something, I guess time travel is just really weird that way. He's now technically the oldest of all the kids, and I think that's why he feels like, he's got to be the helpful one, because, he's the oldest one, so he feels it's now his responsibility to make sure that the others are okay.
Yeah. Yes. But, yes. I just don't know what else to say about him. Well, there was that funny thing we were going to bring up between him and Noire.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so, yeah. At some point when the two of them are talking, I forgot what set it off.
Well, here's what happened. It's like we mentioned before. Imagine the circumstances. Like we said, Laurent is the guy that always helps. Noire is the girl that always needs helping. So because of that, in their conversation, pretty much Laurent is always harping on Noire about something. But just for the sake of helping her out, because she's doing things that he finds he finds to be threatening to her health, dangerous things, and all these he's thinking about her greater good. But it gets to the point where Noire just grabs her talisman and just goes off on him. He just goes, "Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!"
Yeah, she just yells at him off the top of her lungs, and he backs off. So then when you hit the S rank, he goes back, and at first she's saying look, I'm really, really sorry, she was apologizing for it, but he's saying, no, don't apologize. I've never seen you like this, and I really like it.
Whoa.
It became a fetish for him, pretty much, to have Noire yell at him.
Laurent legitimately fell in love with Noire because she lashed at him. So when he said,
so alive.
Yeah, so when Laurent confessed that he loves Noire, Noire was like, "I guess I love you too." But then, like Laurent's first request, could you please tell me you love me, but while yelling it at me?
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Noire's just like, oh god, what have I done?
I created.
That is the funniest fucking
It's just
character.
like, whoa, Laurent, that's just like really out of left field there, bro.
Oh my goodness.
Considering how you are with everybody else, it's just like, whoa.
Yeah, it's so fucking great. And also, I think in the it might have been the beach DLC or something. It's in one of those extra DLCs that you learn that the hat that he wears, it actually is Muriel's hat.
I was actually just thinking about that. It's funny because like we said, he's the helpful character. So even like when he comes up to the brigade, and is like, he's like, good sir, in this hot sun, you could get a you could get a sunburn. You should wear something large over your head like like I do my hat to prevent that. And the brigade's like, okay, I'll just take your hat. And the Laurent's like, but this is my mother's hat.
Yeah. So we do get to see that, even though he is very helpful and everything, he wants to live up to, his mother's expectations. So he does do a lot of the sciencey research and stuff too. He just doesn't go nearly as overboard with it as Muriel does, to the point where no one can understand what the hell she's talking about.
Yeah, Laurent, like we said, he's much more human. So he keeps that in mind. Because of that, he makes sure that everyone understands what he's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, and it's funny, like if you have him talk with the whoever his father is, it's like, that's like one of like the first conversations is like, the father's like, okay, I see you've inherited all of this from Muriel, so what did you inherit from me? Your hair color?
that is the joke. That is the thing with them.
Like, yeah,
that's how you differentiate like who's whose father, because like we said, the children will always end up with the same mother, but depending on who the father is, the child will end up with the father's hair color. So yeah.
Yeah, but it's funny because even Lawrence is like, that's something I inherited from you, and he's like, besides that, he literally got nothing from his dad. It's all Muriel.
You have her genes.
I got your gender.
God damn it! I fucked it up. I fucked up the joke.
What?
Damn it! It was gender, not genes. Damn it! Team 4-star. There we go. Anyway.
Yeah. All right. I don't know. Is anything more about Laurent? There is quite a bit to him. So.
Oh yeah, I could tell.
Yeah, he's a cool guy. He's my second favorite. I love Laurent.
Oh God, your yelling scares the crap out of me. Do it again. Oh my God. It's like Mufasa. Ooh. Do it again. Mufasa. I don't know.
All right, shall we go ahead and move on to Noe's child?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You've been an object of fascination since I first saw you. One I would gladly spend my life investigating.